Hello.
Then, now,
Bow down to the queens.
Episode number 500.
forever,
Looks like hell froze over.
Without any more further ado,
together.
let's jump straight into the show. Hello, welcome to episode number 151, I believe, of the TEW IX Challenge Run. We are here for SmackDown for the 16th of May, 2025. It is a day before the first In Your House show deadline tomorrow night, and it's 8 days ahead of SmackDown's next upcoming pay-per-view event, Judgment Day. And yeah, we have two stacked matches tonight. We announced last week the two matches we've got confirmed are the Women's Liberty Championship will be on the line, our opening match. Kairi Sane defends that against Maki. And our main event, the Women's World Championship, is on the line, which could change the course of Judgment Day and beyond, as Ember Moon challenges IYO SKY for the Women's World Championship. And I can now also confirm that Cora Jade and Roxy Perez are in the building. God help us all. But they're going to defend their Women's Tag Team Championships tonight against Solani. And yeah, we're going to find out who's next for the Intercontinental Championship. A lot of championship stuff going on tonight. Of course, last week we had a big show. AJ Styles is here on SmackDown now. Swerve's back. He was in an ambulance last week. Johnny Gargano is, having to avenge his wife who ate a brutal lumbar check, and we confirmed on Velocity last week there'd be a ladder match between him and Cedric for the belt at Judgment Day. And yeah, a whole lot more. So without any more further ado, let's jump straight into the show. The show opens. I guess this segment got dinged because it was rating Lord Bando in it as well. But the show opens, we got the shot, of the city, and then we get the shots of the people arriving to the building. And as one of them enters, we linger on that shot, and then we hear ambulance sirens as an ambulance starts driving into the arena, and it drives all the way through the arena. It drives, into the ringside area, and then Swerve's music hits, goes whose house. He pops out the back of the ambulance. Lord Bando's driving. We see him driving the ambulance. And he just gets out and he stands, on top of the ambulance. He gets out of the ambulance, he climbs on top. And he goes, "Last week, Drew McIntyre made a serious mistake." Now, I told Drew many times throughout all this that he was making a mistake, picking a fight with me and picking a fight with Lord Bando. But he kept on doing it anyway, I guess, because he's sick in the head. He's got an issue. He wants this to continue. Well, that's fine, because last week I got the jump on old Drew McIntyre because he put me out at WrestleMania in that street fight. And it was one hell of a brutal street fight, I can give him that. But Drew, you should have finished the job. But I don't think you're man enough to finish the job. So that's why last week I came out of that ambulance. You tried to put Bando in this ambulance, and I stomped your ass out. Which means I can see where this is going, Drew. I thought this was over between us. Nah. We've still got one more fight left in us. And here's my proposal, Drew. Since you want to be the big man, the tough guy, picking a fight with Bando, trying to send him home in an ambulance. Judgment Day. You, me, in an ambulance match. And, he stands tall, the crowd's cheering him on. Swerve's back, and he's challenged Drew McIntyre to an ambulance match at Judgment Day. I'll have to see if that gets signed off on. I can't imagine why it wouldn't. But, we have to say that just in case for some reason Adam Pearce says no. Speaking of Adam Pearce, we then cut to a shot earlier on in the day, Okada arriving to his office, and he goes, "I saw at Raw's pay-per-view event, welcome to SmackDown, I see you've been dealing with Nick Aldis. Nick Aldis brought you all the way to SmackDown. I must say I'm incredibly excited to work with you here on SmackDown and finally, get your WWE career off to the races here on the A show here in WWE. But as you know, there's no free rides here, especially not on SmackDown. So, tonight, your first night on the job, we're going to give you, you can have a rest this week since you just got here. But next week you are going to be in action. You're going to defend your championship next week here on SmackDown, since that Intercontinental Championship is now property of SmackDown. And tonight there's going to be a fatal 4-way match. It's going to feature Montez Ford, it's going to feature Andrade Cien Almas, Grayson Waller, and Ricochet. And the winner of that match will face Yu Okada next week for the Intercontinental Championship. And then Okada sort of nods his head and goes, yeah, great. And he shakes hands with Pierce. So yeah, next week, a fatal 4-way to determine who's next in line for the IC title. Between the 4 names I just mentioned, Andrade, Grayson Waller, Ricochet, and Montez Ford. Speaking of championship matches, Kairi, she's in Gorilla, getting ready for the match when Harley Cameron walks up. She goes, excuse me, Kairi. And Kairi sort of just stares at her. She goes, hi, Harley, newest member of J-Flow, best friend to the entire band. I'm new around here, but last week, I want to apologize to you. I understand that you thought you had things with the Megacyst sorted, but you see, this is the woman who took out my friends, okay? This Megacyst, she wiped out my friends in J-Flow, and I had to avenge them, and it came at the expense of your championship match. I understand that you're frustrated with me. But tonight, you're gonna feel the wrath. Not from me, for once. For once, my wrath will be contained, it will, yes. But you're gonna feel the wrath from the cutest in the world. You're gonna feel the wrath from the number one girl, my number one girl, our lead singer, our idol, and your next Women's Liberty champion, Mackie. And Kairi's all just like, oh yeah, sure. And she goes out for the match. Kairi and Mackie opening up the night. 75, yeah, of course, finish. That's why this opened, and that's why it didn't get a very good rating, because finish. Mackie actually sort of, gets into this, She sort of, starts rocking Kairi. She, staggers her around. She hits a big spinning back fist or something, gets a near fall. Kairi kicks out, and then Kairi, of course, gets back on the upper hand, and she's about to win the match when the Megacyst storms out, and she wipes out both people this time. And it ends in a no contest. Again, just like last week. Actually, no, technically last week, Megacyst won by DQ, so, yeah. But this is a no contest because she has laid out both people, whereas Harley only attacked the Megacyst. But yes, again, another week, another indecisive Liberty Championship match result here on SmackDown. After the match, the Megacyst, she continues the assault on both women, I guess, when at Rush J-Flow, Harley Cameron orchestrates it, the entire J-Flow group comes rushing out to her aid, and they start to get the numbers game on the Megacyst, and it looks like they're just about to have her when Yoko and Saya run in. They jump the Harley and the rest of J-Flow from behind, and they also help beat up Kairi, I guess. But yeah, these three, because this is sort of in real life when the Vision was doing Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker doing their own thing and Seth was doing their own thing. That's sort of what Queen and Omega are doing right now, because Julia and Utami are luring it up in their own timeline and are both in the Elimination Chamber, whereas this crew is beefing with J-Flow. So yeah, they're sort of they've got two different stories going on right now instead of all just being goons in the main story with whatever Utami's doing. So yeah, that's nice and fun. But yeah, Saya, Yoko, and the Megacyst standing tall here tonight. And then get a backstage interview. Kayla Braxton, my guest at this time, the phenomenal AJ Styles. AJ walks in and goes, AJ, last week you came here to SmackDown, the place that you used to run, of course. And with you being very publicly speaking about how your career and how much longer you don't know how much longer you've got left, is there anything you want to do while you're here on SmackDown, back on your show? And he goes, Kayla, you said it best. Time is running out. I don't know how much longer AJ Styles is going to be able to do this, and that's why I wanted to go out here making sure I've got absolutely no regrets. And trust me, Kayla, I've got barely any as it is right now, but with John Cena running around here doing his retirement tour, and him and I having our last match back in March, I can only help but think that, do I want to go out the same way as John Cena? Do I want to wrestle all these people, or do I want to wrestle the best wrestlers that WWE has to offer? And I think the best wrestlers are here on SmackDown. You got guys like Ilya Dragunov, guys that I would love to step into the ring with, whether it's in my last days as a competitor or any era of AJ Styles. You're going to get the best out of me. Then Dante Rios walks in. He goes, AJ, you know, I understand that it's your decision when you want to call it quits. If you don't feel like you can do this anymore, then obviously it's you're well within your right to hang him up whenever you want to and have that power over your career. You're well and truly earned that, man. But you said you wanted to come here and wrestle the best here on SmackDown. It would be an honor if I could be your first opponent back on the blue brand. And AJ goes, I like you, kid. I see a lot of potential in you. Make sure to bring all of that in there tonight. Because I want my last matches, whoever they may end up being against, to be worth it. Bring your best. And Dante goes, oh, I will. I'll bring my best. You bring the phenomenal one, huh? You bring him out there. And we'll see who can get it done. Say Dante Rios, AJ Styles tonight. You know, AJ, his retirement, well, not retirement tour, I guess, but like, obviously he's talking about retirement in real life. So, you know, we're going to start working that into the story as well. You know, how much longer can AJ go? And he wants to make sure every match he's got counts from this point on. And Dante Rios says, hey, I'm worthy of one of those matches. Give one to me. So yeah, later on tonight, Dante Rios against AJ Styles. We then cut to a video. It's Candice. She's in her house, you know, and she's watching TV with her baby or whatever. And like, it's just Candice, you know. Obviously, like, there's unsettling undertones because we know who Candice is. But like she's trying to, you know, just be like friendly or whatever. It's like just talking to Quill, watching the TV. She goes, come on, Mommy's got things to do, okay? Daddy's not going to be home tonight. You know, Mommy's made sure Daddy's got some very important business to take care of tonight, so he's not going to be able to make it home, so it's just going to be you and I. Plus, Mommy needs to watch her shows, okay? Mommy's got something very important she needs to watch on the TV. Because tomorrow night, Mommy's going to finally put Dakota Kai down. Okay, you love that? You're excited for that, right? Great. It's just, the rest of this you probably shouldn't see. And she sort of just takes the baby upstairs. And then, yeah, she picks up her phone and starts texting somebody. But Candice, she's at home scheming, you know, chilling with the child. 74. I'm not sure why this did so bad. Phoenix has a poor gimmick. They both have a little bit of physical condition. I guess maybe because Woods cheated. I don't know. But, yeah. Xavier Woods against Rey Fenix. 14 minutes, 11 seconds. And Xavier Woods picks up the win. He cheats to win. Big E and Kofi rush out there. They like try and even the odds as Neville and Penta start to try and get involved. Big E and Kofi can't sort of like even the odds. But then as the referee's distracted with Big E and Kofi evening the odds at ringside, Xavier Woods kicks Rey Fenix in the dick and rolls him up with a handful of tights and picks up the win. So yeah, Xavier Woods with a win. He's got Neville at Judgment Day, but he beats Rey Fenix here tonight via fuckery. 79 for both men. Okay, sure. So the match should be a 79, but I don't know. Crowd's simmering. We then cut backstage. Adam Pearce is in the hallway when he's approached by Fatal Influence and JC Jane. JC goes, let me get this straight. 2 weeks ago, Fallon and Zelina are in the ring with your Golden Girls, your new signings, Kelani Jordan and Sol Ruca. And they beat them in tag team match. They prove that they're the best women's tag team here on SmackDown. And now tonight, you've invited the women's tag team champions over to SmackDown to defend their championships on your brand. And it's against Sol and Kelani? Not Fallon and Zelina? And Pierce goes, that's correct. And JC's like, why? Okay, but what more do these two have to do to prove they belong and deserve a title shot? Because they are the greatest women's tag team on SmackDown currently. Pierce goes, well, Sol Ruca and Kelani Jordan have impressed me since their early stages of their tag team here on SmackDown. Plus, of course, with new signings coming over from the transfer window, I want to keep my talent happy. Gacy goes, well, you're not doing a very good job of keeping your other new talent happy. Me, okay? Because I'm new here too. I came over in this transfer window too, and you're already getting on my nerves, Adam. Giving handouts to your flavors of the month, your favorites, while our hard-working, actual influences in this division are getting scraps. Give me a break. Pierce just walks off and goes, oh, okay, well, it's official. Anyway. And then he walks away, then we see the New Day come into frame. He goes, Woods, he goes, what, E? He goes, what was all that out there tonight, huh? Woods goes, what was all what out there, E, huh? Me winning a wrestling match, something that we haven't done in a very long time, because we were complacent and not going anywhere. But he goes, no, what you did out there, the way you beat Phoenix, it's... And then Woods sort of just cuts off and goes, E, save it, okay? I've tried to tell you two to step up. I'm not gonna keep losing. I won tonight. I almost forgot what that feels like, even though I was world champion, 5 months ago? Feels like a lifetime ago at this point, guys. Because the New Day is forever, and I meant every single word of that. And now, I've proven why I was the mastermind all those years ago, why you two were too stupid to get this thing off the ground. Because I see the problems, whereas you guys want to keep walking out there doing the same old shtick every single time. I get results. You two did not get results. Me doing your way did not get results. And at Judgment Day, I'm going to shake that monkey off our back. I'm going to beat Neville. This new Xavier Woods is going to beat Neville. And maybe then, E, Kofi, you can stop meeting me backstage like this, angry at how I'm doing things. You haven't got to like it, but you've damn sure got to respect it. And if you two want to be the greatest tag team of all time, you're going to have to get with it. So after Judgment Day, when I pick up that victory, I beat Neville. You two won't be coming back here going, Woods, what the hell are you doing? You'll be thanking God for me, for saving your ass. And then, once you see it my way, we can finally get the New Day back on track. You two can go back to being the greatest tag team of all time. And I can get back my World Heavyweight Championship. And the New Day will finally be strong once again. Who's gimmick change? Zelina Vega. Very good, sure. We then get a Drew McIntyre promo. He's like backstage somewhere. Swerve, I heard your little challenge at the start of the show. Very cute. Yeah, well, you must have really liked it in the back of that ambulance, huh? You must have really loved it, been really comfortable in there. I don't know what your home life's like, Swerve, but if you were more comfortable laying in a hospital bed in the back of an ambulance than you were going home, it must not be pretty good, because you sure as hell are in a rush to get sent back in an ambulance. You want to challenge me to an ambulance match. You want to prove that I've got what it takes to finish this. Congrats on coming back, Swerve. Congratulations. I'm proud of you. But this is no longer personal about what you did to me last year. Now you're questioning my manhood. You're saying I haven't got what it takes to finish this, to get the job done, to kill you off for good, get you out of my life. Well, Swerve, if you want to be back in that ambulance so bad, I guess I'll be the bigger man here and give you what you want. See you at Judgment Day. And get William Regal promo. Him and the Creed brothers backstage. He goes, last week, Brutus and Julius were crowned the new #1 contenders for the WWE Tag Team Championships held by Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin of the Motor City Machine Guns. And obviously Shelley and Sabin, one of the greatest tag teams in the history of wrestling. They don't call them your favorite tag team for nothing, because they are very influential of the art of tag team wrestling. And in fact, a team that I would often get Brutus and Julius to study when they're looking to up their game. So for Julius and Brutus to finally step into the ring for a premium live event against one of the greatest tag teams to ever do it, it is an honor. But, boys, you need to make sure you are on top of your game, because there are many things that those boys can do in that ring that you are not able to do, but there are even more things that you can do that they're not able to. I've picked out a lot of talent in the past few years. A lot of them have gone on to rise to the very top, and I truly believe you boys have what it takes to be the next best tag team here in WWE. And at Judgment Day, you can have the chance to finally take home championship gold. A2, we'll take that, sure. AJ Styles defeats Dante Rios with a Styles Clash in 15:24. 70 for AJ, 82 for Dante Rios. So Dante actually technically carried this. Sure. Yeah. But another nice little showing for Dante Rios. He had one against Gargano. I think that might have been on the SmackDown after WrestleMania for the Cruiserweight title. And now he's got this one here tonight. You know, he's just showing that he can do good work in the ring. And after the match, AJ grabs the microphone again. Goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, Dante Rios. These are the sort of guys that SmackDown was built on, okay? Back in the old days when all the cruiserweights were running amok here on SmackDown, it was guys like this that broke out. I have no doubt in my mind that Dante Rios is a future champion here in WWE. But that brings me to you, Ilya. Last week, I got in your face. You were looking for Randy Orton. You got AJ Styles. And that's not because I've got an issue with you, Ilya. That's in fact quite the opposite of why I came out to get in your face. Is because I see you. I see all the talent in the world in you. I believe you have what it takes to be world heavyweight champion. But every single time you got close to that over the past few years, you've come up short and you keep choking. And I need to beat that out of you. I need to get you ready to go and become the man I know you can become, Ilya. That's why I spoke to Adam Pearce. Tomorrow night, at Deadline, AJ Styles, Ilya Dragunov, 1-on-1. Bang. That's the fifth and final match for Deadline. AJ and Ilya, 1-on-1. So yeah, the card for that show is now complete. One women's match, which is abnormal for me, but sure. Oh, and that is the AJ promo. Yeah, never mind. We then cut backstage to Cammy and the Megasis in Adam Pearce's office. She goes, "I bet you thought that was real funny what you did out there, huh? Okay, another championship match without a decisive winner because you had to stick your nose in and get involved." And Cammy goes, "Well, last week Harley decided she was going to run out there and get involved in our match. I didn't see you complaining about us then. We just returned the favor, and now all of a sudden it's a problem. Now it's a problem." Pearce goes, "Well, I've had enough of you and your group running around here, okay? I already gave Io and Julia and Utami a spot in the Elimination Chamber. And you know what? I'm going to make it official. Right now. The Megasis will get another shot at the Liberty Championship. But it will also include Mackie at Judgment Day next weekend in a triple threat match." And Cammy goes, "You can't be serious. Okay? The Megasis, undefeated women's champion for what, 8 months, 6 months, gets her rematch for her championship that she is owed by proxy of being the dominant former champion. That gets screwed up because some mad woman with some mad Australian woman who thinks she's a part of a K-pop group came out here and jumped us. And then she gets in our rematch instead of you giving us our rematch. And Utami Hayashishita, the women's world champion of 6 months, loses the championship in the main event of WrestleMania. The same night, or the following night, Julia wins a battle royal to become the number 1 contender for the women's championship, and she doesn't get her match. Both of those women, who are owed championship matches, are put in the Elimination Chamber. And I just piss. Are you out to get me? Pearce goes, Maybe I am, and as a matter of fact, I'm glad you're here, because maybe you can relay the message to Julia and to Utami. Next week, there's going to be a triple threat tag team match. It's going to be all 6 competitors in the Elimination Chamber match teaming up in a triple threat tag team match. Whoever the winning team is in that match will enter number 1, or will enter number 5 and number 6 in the Elimination Chamber. Whoever gets pinned will be number 1 and 2, and the other team will be number 3 and number 4. It is official. Leave my office. Because this is... Okay, sure, Adam, sure. I'll leave your office, but I'm not going to be very happy about it. And Appear's like, I don't care. 78. That's actually really good. I was expecting a lot worse from that, considering I didn't think there'd be much psychology in it. But I think Roxy has got a fair bit, so it's fine. And Kelani is the only person who scored less than 80. Okay. But it is New Millennium defeating Sol Ruca and Kelani Jordan in a tag team match in 12:56. Roxy pinning Kelani Jordan with the Pop Rocks to make face number 9 of the Women's Tag Team Championships. 89 for Roxy, 84 for Cora, 47 for Kelani, 80 for Sol Ruca. So yeah, a nice performance from Solani, and that's why I picked them. Like, I did the Fatal Influence segment backstage to address it, because that was a plot hole that I didn't realise until afterwards, but I wanted to give Solani this match because I wanted to showcase them more, and also didn't want it to be heel versus heel. But I also just mainly wanted to, thought it would be fun to do a women's tag title defense on this show, considering there's a Liberty Championship match and a World title match. But yeah, big retention for New Millennium here tonight. They came alone, of course, and Pierce, he may be neglectful of the people he disliked, but he's not stupid. He knew not to invite the whole Nexus. He knew that they wouldn't be allowed in the arena unless it was just those two. After the match, Fatal Influence get the jump on Solani again. Jordan Grace comes out. She makes the save. She grabs the mic and says that it will be a 6-woman tag team match at Judgment Day. Solani and Jordan Grace against Fatal Influence, I guess, and JC Jane. She's not technically in the group, so yeah. It is official. Another 6-woman tag team match for... Well, not another 6-woman tag team match, but another women's match. I think every single woman on the SmackDown brand, apart from like a few, are on Judgment Day in some way. But yeah. Then get a Hurt Business video. And he goes, well. I just got off the phone with one Nick Aldis, and it is official. Judgment Day, the almighty Bobby Lashley gets another shot at the championship, and it's going to be him, Buster Gates, and Sami Zayn in a triple threat match. Sami, he knows what the Hurt Business is all about by now. He's been on the other side of the ring as the almighty Bobby Lashley too many times, including at WrestleMania, where he came out on top and took the almighty Bobby Lashley's World Heavyweight Championship, and he's kept it warm for a nice month. But Buster Gates, this is a message to you. I tried to warn you. We tried to be nice. We tried to do business the right way. And you ignored us. You continued to put your stock in Sami Zayn, even though Sami Zayn don't give a damn about your dumb ass. And now you found yourself in this match. Congratulations on getting another title shot, Buster. But this one's going to end in failure. Just like all the other ones ended in failure. And it's not going to be at the hands of Sami Zayn. It's going to be at the hands of the almighty Bobby Lashley, who will stand here, soon to be your 2-time World Heavyweight Champion. And Sami, I hope you didn't bring your family for this one, because it's going to be painful, it's going to be brutal, and the almighty Bobby Lashley will show no remorse to you, or to Buster, or to anybody else who dares come in our business. And now, the Hurt Business is going to continue to do what we do best. Hurting people. We then see Sami watching that video package on a screen backstage when Buster walks in. He goes, hey, I just heard that triple threat match, Judgment Day, great. So he goes, yeah, it is. Bobby, he's a tough opponent, don't overlook him, you've come short against him a number of times. But when I won this World Heavyweight Championship, I promised I wasn't going to be another flash in the pan champion. I promised I was going to prove to everybody that I deserve it, and I think I've done a good job at that so far. But Buster, you took me to my limit with that chance opportunity you got by winning the $100 Memorial Battle Royal. Judgment Day, there's you and Bobby. May the best man win. Buster goes, yeah. May the best man win. 79. Okay, I kept this going too... I thought I could get away. Okay, lesson learned. The all-out note can't typically go over 20 minutes, but I thought because there was 4 wrestlers in the match that I'd be able to get away with it. Turns out I can't. Sure, we take that. You live and you learn. I won't do that again. But Montez Ford picks up the win in this match, pinning Grayson Waller with the frog splash in 2052. I imagine the finish is obviously Ricochet's doing his thing, and he takes a dive to the outside. He does Ricochet stuff. He wipes himself out, and he wipes Montez Ford out. That leaves just Grayson Waller and Andrade in the ring, and Andrade hits the message on Grayson Waller. He goes for the cover. 1, 2. Montez Ford flies in from the top rope with a big frog splash. 1, 2, 3. And he pins Grayson Waller to become the number 1 contender for the Intercontinental Championship. So next week, Montez Ford will challenge Kazuchika Okada for the Intercontinental Championship. Yeah. 93 for Andrade, 84 for Tez, 93 for Ricochet, 68 for Waller. Andrade, he's a funny one because, like, realistically, you know, given what we know about this beast in real life now and how he operates, he should have left a long time ago. Real Andrade would hate where Challenge Run Andrade has been for like 5 years at this point and would have quit. But it's a game, so he doesn't have to. But also I think it would be funny if I did let him quit, but I kind of want to use him still. But yeah, I'm rambling now. Montez Ford, number 1 contender for the championship. We then see Nick Aldis catch up with Nova backstage. He goes, there she is, just the girl I want to see. And he goes, what is it, Nick? He goes, I'm sure you heard from Pierce. I don't know if the message made it to you. You know, we did tell Cammy it, so I can understand people not wanting to speak to her. But next week, there's going to be a triple threat tag team match about the Elimination Chamber in regards to the Elimination Chamber. Nova goes, yeah, I did hear about that. Why, what of it? He goes, I don't want to be the one to break this news to you, but you can't do that by yourself. And Nova goes, I know. It's what you get for making me do tag team matches. Why do you insist on making me put my trust into other people? It's only going to end badly, because the only person I can trust around here is myself. And Nicholas goes, yeah, well, that's going to be extra true next week, because your team with Candice. Good luck. And he walks off. And Nova sort of just like looks across in disgust, like, oh, sure, I guess. We then cut backstage. The family arrive to SmackDown in blue suits. They pull out of their car. They walk into the arena. Yes, this late into the show. You know, hey, it's better to be fashionably late, huh? Go to this new place. This is our new home once again. SmackDown, you know. It's the Don Show. Bada bing, bada boom. Take it over. And they walk in, and Pretty Deadly walk up and goes, yeah, bada bing, bada boom, all that. You know, capiche? He goes, that's not how we speak. What do you want, boys? And then Kit Wilson goes, well, actually, I'm glad you're here. You're exactly the sort of person that we're looking for. And Tony goes, what is it? You got business for us to do? You can keep getting in our way, eh? He goes, actually, we've got important bits. You see, we've got some people we need you to take care of, you know. He goes, hey, a job, huh? Okay, tell me more about this job. I go, well, it's a well-established facility, and we think we've pissed off their leader, so if you were to make that facility disappear, then that would be great. And then Rizzo accepted, goes, Don, I think they're talking about Chase U. Tony goes, Chase U? We already did that one, huh? Okay, those boys and girls, they had heart, huh? We tried to take that old place over, and they beat our bricks, you know. We were the ones sleeping with the fishes there, capiche? If you want problems with Chase University, yeah, we've done that. We've been there, done that. If you've got any serious inquiries, we'll listen to them. But Andre Chase University, that's in the past, huh? Okay, we're done with Chase U. You can take care of that on your own, boys. And they walk off, and then Kate Wilson and Prince of Legion goes, well, I guess we tried. Next week, we have two big matches set for what is the go-home show for Judgment Day. The first is the big triple threat women's tag team match, which will have major Elimination Chamber implications. The teams are officially set. Candice LeRae will team with Nova Nebula. IYO SKY will team with Dakota Kai. And obviously Julia and Utami will team together. And the winning team in this match will be numbers 5 and 6 in the chamber. Whoever takes the pin, they'll be numbers 1 and 2. The other team will be 3 and 4. So yeah, we're going to know a lot more about the Judgment Day Elimination Chamber after next week. Plus, also next week, an Intercontinental Championship defense. Yes, a defense on the go-home show instead of the actual pay-per-view itself. Call me Paul Levesque all you want. Please don't, that's an insult. Anyway, Montez Ford is the next to step up. He'll be, I guess, Okada's first SmackDown opponent. No, wait, he didn't. He wrestled Pete Dunne on SmackDown before. But his first opponent as an official member of the SmackDown roster. And with the Intercontinental Championship now once again officially property of SmackDown, he will defend against Montez Ford. That's the day before the pay-per-view, because the pay-per-view match card is now full, with a bunch of matches we learnt tonight and last week. The first being, of course, the World Heavyweight Championship will be on the line in a triple threat match as the champion Sami Zayn walks into his first PLE as the world champion. Can he walk out still the champion? He's got a tall order as both Buster Gates and Bobby Lashley are looking for that championship. And speaking of championship triple threat matches, Kairi Sane will also defend her championship in a triple threat match for the Liberty Championship herself, the former champion the Megasis, and Maki, after weeks of tension between all three parties. And last week on Velocity it was made official, the final chapter between Cedric Alexander and Johnny Gargano for the Cruiserweight Championship, a ladder match, Johnny Gargano versus Cedric Alexander at Judgment Day. And earlier on tonight it was challenged by Swerve at the top of the show, and it is now confirmed after Drew McIntyre accepts the challenge. They will go at it one more time. Swerve's got Drew McIntyre in an ambulance match at Judgment Day. And Solani, the new hit tag team here on the scene on SmackDown, teaming up with another relatively new face of the SmackDown Women's division, that being Jordan Grace, to take on Fatal Influence and their new friend Jacy Jane. And also that's not all, because we do have a match set for tomorrow night's deadline event, and that will be another new member of the SmackDown roster, AJ Styles, in what could end up being his final year in wrestling, looking to wrestle the best opponents he can find for himself, and who better than Ilya Dragunov. So that'll be Styles, Dragunov, tomorrow night at Deadline. We then see Candice, we don't see Candice, sorry, we see Ember. She's getting ready for the main event. She's locked in the zone. She's ready to go. When we see her, check her phone, and it's like, you've got one new message. And she lets it play, and it's Candice. She goes, hey, Ember, I'm sure you're so excited for your big night tonight, but just make sure, I really appreciate you going out there and getting this match done. There's some big implications for this match, because if you win this, you're in the Elimination Chamber, so I really think it's in your best interests to take this championship from IYO tonight. I always thought it would be me who'd be the one who ended up taking the championship from IYO, but I'm more than happy to let it be you, because, you've always been so good to me. You really helped me see the light all those months ago. I imagine, as she's ranting all this, Ember sort of just leaves her phone playing and walks off to go get ready for the match. And, we just zoom in on the phone and Candice is still just rambling to it. Because you helped me see the light, Ember, and I don't know if I could be where I am now, which is in such a better place, both mentally and professionally, if it wasn't for you. But, your reign will only last 8 days, because obviously I'm going to win the Elimination Chamber at Judgment Day, and if IYO's not in it, then, it's easier for me because I haven't got that to distract me. But anyway, I'm more than happy to share the glory with you. Just remember who it was that really inspired you to go after this championship, because you really inspired me, Ember. And I think if you can get this championship done, then next week and the weeks beyond, we can go ahead and be great friends, and I can happily share this saving of the SmackDown Women's division for you to have a share too. But I'm just going to say, what happens if you let me down. But, I'm sure you won't do that. Good luck. The phone starts beeping. 91. We take those. Bang. Is this really Io's first defense of the belt? Oh yeah, I guess, because the chamber was being built up straight away. But yes, IYO SKY does retain the championship. 21-53 against Ember. Yeah, we gave this a lot of time. An epic main event here on SmackDown. Trying to crack that 100 like Raw got, but couldn't quite get it done. But yes, IYO does retain the championship. So, shock horror. There's no last minute change to the Elimination Chamber. It will stay IYO SKY in that match and as world champion. And she will indeed be the one in the match next week to team with Dakota against Queen of Omega and Candice and Nova. And then after the match, IYO offers a handshake out to Ember Moon. Ember looks at IYO's hand, thinks for a sec, then shakes IYO's hand and leaves. And then that's when we cut back to the Gargano household. And we the camera shot goes from that shot of IYO and Ember shaking hands, and the camera sort of transitions so it's being watched on Candice's telly, and then we zoom out and we see her just on the couch watching the match. She's getting angry. She starts smashing stuff up. She goes, ah! I should have known. I should have known that even though Ember, she was the one who told me, Candice, you've got to start looking out for yourself. She couldn't practice what she preached, okay? Because I'm the only person brave enough to step out and actually do what I need to be doing, okay? It's fine. It's fine. I'm still going to be the one to do it, Elimination Chamber, I'm going to win a team with Nova next week. Sure, I'm sure she's a great girl, but it's fine. I can only rely on myself, Candice. You can't rely on anybody else. You can barely even rely on Johnny these days to get the job done. It's fine, okay? It's fine. You're going to beat IYO, okay? You're going to beat Dakota tomorrow night. You're going to put Dakota in a place. You're going to end that once and for all. Get her out of your hair forever. And then next week, Women's World Championship coming home. You're going to put the Women's World Championship on that porch. Johnny's going to keep that Cruiserweight Championship. He's going to get it done. He's going to. And then maybe life will be good. Nothing to worry about. Nothing to worry about. I'm at home. I'm chilling. Nothing to worry about. Then the doorbell rings. And who is that at this time of night? She sort of looks out the window. She can't see anybody. She goes, what the hell? She opens the door. Booted in the face. Dakota Kai kicks Candice in the face. And they brawl into the house. We get a house fight. Candice and Dakota brawling around Candice's living room. Throwing stuff at each other like vases and picture frames and shit. And, Dakota throws Candice over the top of the dinner table or whatever. Gets on there. She starts raining punches down on her. When we see the baby, start walking down the stairs. And he sort of, stops half the way down the stairs and, sees what's happening. And he, makes a coo. A sound to alert Dakota that he's there. And then she turns around and sees him. She's like, oh my god! And she pauses. Because obviously she doesn't want the child to see that she's beating up his mother. But Candice doesn't give a shit. she jumps on Dakota, starts beating Dakota up in front of, her own son. Tosses her out of her house. And she's calls the police or whatever and goes, keep her locked up for a day, okay? I'll finish with her tomorrow. And then the baby Quill is just on the stairs, looking through the banister at Candice. And Candice come on. Mommy's fine. And she brushes her messed up hair out of the face. She picks up the baby. The baby's on the verge of tears. But yes, an eye for an eye, Candice did go to Dakota's house, so it's only fair. 81 raid show, sure. Pretty fun show, building stuff up. I'm getting my groove in. When SmackDown coming out of Mania for the first few weeks, I thought was the slowest of the shows, but now I'm picking things back up now. There's something, again, mostly on the women's end. I need to actually start booking the men at some point. But yeah, there's some things in the pan right now that I'm excited for. And yeah, might as well that's what you thought of the show, mainly of SmackDown. I haven't even done Velocity yet, so I don't know why I'm saying mainly of SmackDown. But yes, I will see you on the other side for Velocity. We kick off Velocity with this. Remember the tournament we were doing? It's okay if you don't, it's been a long time. But last week on Velocity, was supposed to be the finals of this tournament to crown the number one contender for the trios titles. We couldn't do it because Joaquin Wilde wasn't here and Uriah Connors got injured. So, they forfeited, and the number one contenders were Angelico, Cruz, and Joaquin. So they get their title match tonight. They get it right now. And the UE pick up the win. Nice little match. Kyle O'Reilly pins or submits Cruz Del Toro with an ankle lock. 76 for Roddy, 54 for Bobby, 89 for Kyle, 64 for Joaquin, 60 for Cruz, 66 for Angelico. So yeah, nice little win for the UE, and we've got a nice little cruiserweight stable here, or trio, I guess. They're not really stables, but I need trios for these trios championships, so, you know, yeah. And I kind of like the vibe of Angelico with these two, you know. So they're probably going to stick about as a trio on this show. So I do want to make more trios. Like, the trio styles since they've been incepted were, like, the Dragon's Dojo and LAX Stream. And then just a bunch of, like, makeshift trios. I want to try and establish more trios. And I've got a few now. Got these guys. Got the UE, obviously. Got Charlie Ryland and Top Flight wearing their flight suits. We sort of got the Young OGs, I guess. They count as a trio. Well, they are a trio, but, you know. But, yeah. The UE do retain. They restore peace and keep order here on Velocity. Speaking of the Young OGs, they're getting ready for their match tonight. You know, 4v4. Them and Saquon Sugars against these four masked mystery attackers that have been causing havoc over Velocity over the past few weeks. You know, we get the Young OGs, and Javon's talking about, you know, it's great that we finally got Saquon back, you know. No offense to you, Cappuccino, you've been great, but, you know, it's supposed to be us at WrestleMania. It's supposed to be him, I, and Leon doing it. But, you know, injury took that away from Saquon Sugars, and now it's great that he's back here now. We've got 4 of us, there's 4 of them, and tonight we're going to show those boys who's boss. And then Leon's like, hey, where is Saquon anyway? And then we just hear an attack, like a loud bang from another locker room. They rush out, Saquon Sugars is in there, you know, holding his leg in pain. And, you know, we see the masks that these 4 men have been wearing just left on, you know, a chair in there. And then Javon's like, what's he going to do? He's not going to be able to make it out. And then Saquon goes, I'll tell you what. If these guys think it's funny to attack me, it's fine. I'll get one of them. I'll find one of them, and I'll take one of them out. I can do this. I may not be able to fight tonight, but I'll be able to take a steel chair and whip their ass. And then you take care of the other 3. No, we just need 3 of them tonight. We take 3 of them down. We isolate one of them. We can find out who these guys are once and for all. So yeah, go on without me. So after all that, Saquon's not going to get the match tonight because he's been taken out by these masked attackers. And it will be just the OG Young OGs. Well, technically no. Technically Saquon is on the OG Young OGs, but the current iteration of the Young OGs being Leon Slater, Cappuccino Jones, and Javon Evans against 3 members of these masked mystery attackers. Sorry, we don't know their name. 68. Cedric Alexander beats Esteban Flores in 9:47 with a lumbar check. Esteban Flores is a regen in AAA. There's a bunch of like regens that I've had in developmental for like 3 or 4 years now that I probably should just start doing stuff with. So I'm sort of, you know, in the background thinking of like fun gimmicks for a bunch of people. And I'll probably start them off on Velocity or like as cameos and shit. But like there are a bunch of people that I probably should call up at this point. And I wanted to sort of like test where they're at. Esteban gets a 44, which is like okay. I don't know what his pop's at, but that's like solid enough, but like not below away great. But yeah, Cedric Alexander picks up the win. After the match, he grabs the microphone. Goes, Johnny Gargano, you decided to grow a pair of balls, huh? I love to see it. I love to see a man grow a pair of balls, because let's face it, Johnny, you may be the cruiserweight champion, but I know what else you are right now, and that's whipped. You're supposed to be the cruiserweight champion, standing on your own 2 feet as a top world champion of cruiserweight wrestling, and you're just doing your wife's bidding. Your wife's calling the shots. Your wife's making you defend that championship in a ladder match against me at Judgment Day. What? Because I gave her a taste of her own medicine? I finally put a bitch in the ground where she belongs after all the stuff she's been doing to everybody else? That's fine. I'll see you at Judgment Day, Johnny, and I'll take that championship back, and then you've got to deal with the repercussions when you let your wife down. Again. Javon Evans and Leon Slater and Cappuccino Jones make their way out for the main event. You know, these 3 young OGs doing their thing. It's obviously only the 3 of them, you know, be established. They'll just be a 3-on-3. And then we get the Masked Attackers. They make their way out of the crowd. Just the 3 of them, yeah. And they get into the ring. And the 3 men get into the ring. You know, they've got their masks on. And we finally do get them, you know, taking their masks off. And we see that they are some familiar faces to Velocity viewers. It is Leslie Young, formerly of MSK. RKJ, who's been about for a bit. You know, he's had a couple of like trios opportunities doing with like Dudley and shit. And our boy Hanzo Kaneko, obviously. And they stand across the ring from the young OGs. We're going to get a 3-on-3 tag team match right now. And then during the match, Javon Evans, you know, he gets tagged and he's doing his Javon Evans stuff. When we see Saquon, he hobbles out from the back to cheer the boys on. And Javon's like, yeah, come on, you know, we can do this, we can take them out. You know, you stand guard in case that 4th guy comes out here. And then, of course, Saquon takes the chair, smacks it in the back of Javon Evans. And Hanzo pins Cappuccino Jones with a 450 splash to pick up the victory. 69 for Leslie Young, 70 for RKJ, 78 for Hanzo, 66 for Leon Slater, 36 for Cappuccino, 71 for Javon Evans. And then after the match, you know, Leon is tossed outside the ring, Cappuccino Jones is tossed outside the ring. And the 3 men lay a beating on Javon Evans. They sort of like hold him up as Saquon just paces around the ring and he grabs a mic and he starts laughing at the mic. He goes, "Hey Javon, hi. You didn't think I'd just move on, right? You didn't think I'd move on, just like these guys didn't move on, didn't stop. I get it. You're the hot new toy around here. You're the hot new flavor of the month. You're the guy they want on WrestleMania. You're the guy they want being Cruiserweight Champion. Not me. They tossed me to the side and got another guy to fill my boots. And nobody noticed. They just wanted the young OG to bounce for him. They didn't care who else was standing on the top at the tag team rope with him. As long as Javon Evans was there, that's all that mattered to this place. Just like these guys have been fighting for months and years to find their place on this show, but they keep getting stepped on by more people that the powers that be see as more valuable. Guys from SmackDown, guys from Raw, ECW, taking our spots, our championships. Enough is enough. We are sick and tired of waiting around. Because we can wait and wait and wait until our hair goes grey and people will never give us that shot. But we're gonna make that shot. And we're gonna make it everybody's problem. Because when Dark State strikes, nobody 205 pounds or under is safe. So yeah, obviously in real life Saquon Sugars is the only member of Dark State that is a cruiserweight, so I had to pick 3 new guys to put in it. I knew what I wanted it to be, but I didn't know the actual people involved in it. You know, I've been using different people other than Saquon as mystery masked people for the past few weeks because I hadn't quite finalized the final lineup of the group. But I knew I wanted it to be people that like have been on Velocity a fair bit but like never really got, you know, those guys that I sub in for a match to like to get a good rating and job and then like toss them aside because, you know, oh, the Undisputed Era have come down or Johnny Gargano's come down, and so like why are we gonna put the belt on RKJ and Hanzo if, you know, Johnny Gargano's down it? I want to just pick a group of those guys that I've sort of like, as Velocities existed, I've sort of like tossed aside in favor of, like Shaquan said, the shiny new toys coming down from Raw and SmackDown, because they're the sexy people. Cruiserweight Championship match at WrestleMania that says Johnny Gargano versus Cedric Alexander sounds better on paper than, RKJ versus Saquon Sugars. So, yeah. And, they're all scoring pretty good. I think they all scored in their 70s. So, yeah. Our Dark State is going to be good wrestlers. And, yeah, they're here. Cruiserweights looking to take their spot on the top back from, all these other people. They are what Velocity was built from, I guess. The new generation that is getting held down by the old people that are older than them. We'll hear more from Saquon next week. It's fine. I don't want to info dump too much now. I just want to explain the thought process behind the group and the names involved. Myron Reed I picked. Leslie Young. More, and not Trey Miguel or Tristan Ellison. I just thought he fit better. He just fits the vibe better. Look, like I can imagine him wearing a Dark State, like one of them masks in this picture. Hanzo, I don't know much about him IRL, but I wanted a cool, badass, silent assassin in the group, because obviously Saquon is the wild card, and then RKJ is like Cutler James. He's the resident white boy that doesn't belong, but he's here. That's the end of the show. The young OGs were overused, apparently. It doesn't really matter against Velocity. What matters more, though, is what you thought of the show. Do mainly of SmackDown. And I'll see you next time for Deadline in Your House. Deadline. See you then.